Even as Trump erupted into a furious tirade, Jasmine Crockett maintained her composure with a calm yet commanding presence. She subtly challenged a widely held assumption that Jared Kushner is unquestionably the father of Ivanka's children. Perhaps she hinted that the narrative was not as certain as commonly believed. The studio lights blazed, cameras zoomed in, and the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation typical for a political debate. It was meant to be a routine exchange between leaders, often in opposition. On one side, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett remained poised and attentive, prepared for questioning. Opposite her stood Donald Trump, a man never hesitant to dominate the spotlight, particularly when cameras were rolling. From the start, it was evident this would not be a calm discussion. Trump launched into an offensive, not through policy points, but with intensely personal attacks. His voice, with its familiar sharp edge, cut across the studio as he leaned into the microphone. He accused Crockett of dishonesty, asserting she lacked the right to represent the American people. He hurled claims of dubious connections and murmured, "Deals," each word crafted to destroy her reputation rather than engage her ideas. The audience could almost feel the impact of his words like arrows aimed directly at her. Most individuals facing such concentrated scrutiny, cameras rolling, millions watching, a former president labeling them a fraud, would falter. Many would shrink, stumble over words, or attempt a nervous defense. But Jasmine Crockett remained immovable. She sat upright, her gaze fixed on Trump, expression calm yet intensely focused. It seemed she had foreseen this exact onslaught, as if waiting for it. When Trump realized his initial barrages failed to unsettle her, he intensified. His voice grew louder, more aggressive, cutting her off at every attempt to speak. He declared her political future non-existent, implying her career was already finished. His words aimed not to persuade, but to annihilate. Yet, a remarkable transformation occurred. The harder Trump struck, the more composed Crockett appeared. She did not raise her voice or retaliate with insults. Instead, she remained seated, allowing him to expend his fury, like a seasoned fighter conserving energy while an opponent swings wildly, eventually exhausting themselves. Behind that serene facade, Crockett's mind raced. She knew mere defense would be futile. Trump was too loud, too relentless, too skilled at controlling the narrative. To truly break through, she needed a different tool, and she had it. For months, Crockett had safeguarded sensitive information, a truth capable of undermining the carefully constructed image Trump projected of his family. She had not planned to reveal it tonight. But as Trump's attacks escalated from argument to character assault, realization struck. This was the moment. Slowly, deliberately, she leaned forward, hands firmly on the desk. Her voice, not raised, was steady and powerful enough to pierce Trump's relentless interruptions. The audience, caught in the storm of Trump's rage, remained unaware. But Crockett was poised to change the trajectory of the discussion. She refused to play Trump's game of defense and counter-insult. Instead, she intended to reveal a secret long buried under layers of silence and denial. She knew precisely where to start, with Ivanka Trump. The moment she mentioned Ivanka, Crockett entered dangerous territory. Trump might attack politicians daily, but once his family was involved, the real storm erupted. The audience was unprepared. The hosts were caught off guard. Even Trump, sharp and defensive as ever, was blindsided. But Jasmine Crockett was ready. This was no ordinary debate. It was about to become a moment where hidden truths emerged, and the clash between a powerful man and a determined congresswoman ventured into unexpected territory. The room tensed. Cameras zoomed closer. The audience leaned into their screens. With a single line, Crockett would command the night. The moment hung like electricity before a storm. Jasmine Crockett had endured Trump's insults, attempts to overpower her voice, and loud attacks aimed at undermining her credibility. Now, the tables were about to turn. She leaned in, voice lower, steadier, deliberate. Every eye in the studio fixed on her. With calm cutting through chaos, she spoke. Sometimes the truth about family lineage is hidden in plain sight. And it's time to stop hiding. It was a single sentence, yet it struck like thunder. The hosts froze. The crew froze. Even viewers at home sensed something monumental approaching. For the first time that night, Trump did not immediately respond. For a brief moment, he was silent. But Crockett was not finished. She let the silence stretch, heightening suspense. Before delivering the line that shocked the studio, she said there is significant reason to question the widely accepted story that Jared Kushner is the father of Ivanka's children, Murmurs rippled across the room. The hosts blinked in disbelief. A camera operator nearly lost focus, his lens jerking as if he could not believe what he had just heard. The audience at home leaned closer to their screens, hearts racing, trying to process the revelation. It was not merely shocking, it was perilous. Crockett had revealed only a portion, enough to destabilize Trump's footing. Just enough to provoke curiosity. The hosts attempted to regain control. Crockett pressed, her voice nearly trembling, was asked, "Are you implying what it sounds like? Are you suggesting Ivanka's children might not be?" He faltered, unwilling to finish, but Crockett did not respond directly. She leaned back slightly, expression unreadable, understanding that silence can wield more power than words. Trump could not remain silent. His face reddened, his voice rose, and he erupted. "Lies. Disgusting lies," he shouted, pointing at the table. "This is fake. This is garbage. You attack my family because you have nothing else." He continued, voice echoing over all in the room. He accused Crockett of plotting against him, accused the hosts of staging a smear, accused everyone present of conspiring against his family. Yet, the more he yelled, the clearer it became. He was unsettled. The audience saw it. His rage lacked the confident swagger expected. This was different. His words stumbled. Interruptions became frantic. He leaned forward as if to crush the discussion by sheer force. That raw, uncontrolled anger only amplified Crockett's words, implying her hint carried weight. Why else would Trump be desperate to silence it? The hosts noticed too. They pressed again more cautiously. "Congresswoman, you just raised something extraordinary. Do you have details? Can you clarify?" Crockett's eyes flicked to Trump, then back to the hosts. Her calm was almost eerie against his chaos. She selected words carefully, pacing herself. "I think the American people deserve honesty," she said. "And sometimes the stories we're told don't match the evidence we uncover." The room tensed once more, each second stretching longer. Trump interjected with another furious denial, calling her disgraceful, attempting to overwhelm her with sheer volume, voice shaking with rage. But Crockett did not yell back. She did not need to. She planted a seed, a thought, a suspicion, which gave it power. The viewers did not need all details immediately. They did not need proof spelled out. All that mattered was the question, what if Jared Kushner is not the father of Ivanka's children? The thought could not be unheard. It lingered, whispered, growing stronger as attempts to suppress it increased. As Trump raged, gesturing wildly and pounding the desk, the contrast was stark. His fury only made Crockett seem calmer, stronger, more credible. The more he tried to silence her, the more people wanted to hear her. And Crockett knew it. She had not revealed the full bombshell yet. Not even close. But by choosing words carefully and letting tension mount, she had taken control of the broadcast. Everyone in the studio, hosts, crew, even Trump, realized one thing. Whatever came next would change everything. When Crockett dropped her cryptic hint, Donald Trump's composure cracked. It was not gradual, but sharp, immediate, like glass shattering. He first attempted an awkward chuckle, mismatched to his expression. He wagged a finger across the table. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Nobody believes that nonsense. But the tremor in his voice betrayed him. Almost instantly, his temper exploded. Face red, jaw tight, leaning far across the desk, voice rising with every word, echoing in the studio. "Lies. Pure lies," he shouted, stabbing the air with his finger. "This is a disgrace, this woman is a disgrace. She should be ashamed for airing this on television." The host shifted uneasily, trying to calm the chaos. Trump ignored them, speaking over everyone. He did not merely disagree, he aimed to smother the conversation entirely. But the more he shouted, the clearer it became that Crockett had struck something raw. If her words were meaningless, he would dismiss them with a smile. But he did not. He was unraveling. Crockett, meanwhile, remained still, not matching his volume, not throwing insults, not flinching. She simply watched, calm and steady, eyes fixed as if seeing through the rage and underlying fear. It resembled two fighters in the ring, one swinging wildly, uncontrolled, the other standing firm, letting the storm rage without moving. The host tried to intervene again, so President, let her finish. Trump cut off instantly. "I will not allow her to spread disgusting lies about my family. She is attacking Ivanka. She is attacking my grandchildren. It is evil, sick, and you are letting her." He slammed his hand on the desk, sound echoing like a gunshot. The crew shifted nervously. The host exchanged uneasy glances. And millions of viewers at home could see it clearly. Trump wasn't merely angry, he was rattled. Meanwhile, Crockett spoke once more, her tone calm, yet slicing through the chaos like a precise blade. "Mr. Trump," she said softly, "if what I stated weren't true, why are you so afraid of it?" That question lingered in the air like smoke. The studio went silent. For the first time all night, Trump had no instant comeback. His mouth opened, then closed before he erupted into another denial. This is disgusting. You're attempting to ruin families, destroy lives. You should be ashamed. This is all fabricated. It's entirely false. Yet his fury no longer carried the same authority. The louder he became, the more desperate he appeared, and the calmer Crockett remained, the stronger she seemed. The audience at home felt it. The power dynamic had shifted. Trump's shouting did not silence her. It amplified her. Every interruption, outburst, furious denial only made her insinuation sound more credible. The host leaned forward uneasy, pressing again. Congresswoman, this is serious. Are you claiming you have actual proof? Trump tried to intervene, waving his hands, shouting. Do not answer that. Don't dare answer that. But Crockett did not glance at him. She looked directly at the host, eyes steady, voice unwavering. In that moment, everyone in the studio and viewers at home understood something. Trump had lost control. The man who prided himself on dominating every stage, never letting anyone steal the spotlight, now floundered in his own rage. And Jasmine Crockett, composed and collected, was quietly undermining him. The dynamic had changed. It was no longer Trump versus Crockett. It was Trump versus his own temper, and he was failing. The tension reached its peak. Trump, flushed, pounding the desk, spewing words faster than microphones could capture. He raged about lies, conspiracies, disgrace. Yet Jasmine Crockett remained entirely composed, hands neatly folded, eyes focused straight ahead. The hosts leaned in, voices trembling as they posed the question. Everyone at home screamed internally. Congresswoman Crockett, are you stating you have proof? For a moment, silence enveloped the studio. Trump's chest heaved with rage. The audience held their breath. Crockett, steady as stone, finally spoke. My investigation, she said, calm but sharp as glass, uncovered compelling evidence challenging the accepted narrative, pointing toward unexpected family connections directly linked to Donald Trump. The words lingered like smoke after an explosion. The reaction was instant. The host gasped. Crew members behind the cameras exchanged shocked glances. The audience at home felt their hearts race. Trump erupted. Lies. Total lies. Fabricated by losers, haters, people attempting to destroy me. He slammed his fist again, voice cracking under anger's weight. This is all fake. None of it is true. You're repulsive for even stating this on air. Yet Crockett did not retreat. She leaned closer to her microphone, voice slicing through his rage like a blade through dense fog. I spent months on this investigation, she continued. I interviewed those close to your family. I verified documents never meant for public view. I cross-checked timelines of Ivanka's pregnancies, your whereabouts, private movements, and the pattern is undeniable. The hosts froze. The studio filled with whispers, gasps, chair shuffles. Trump barked denials, words tumbling as he waved hands, attempting to drown out her voice. Yet the more he yelled, the clearer she became. I have testimonies, she said firmly. Insiders from your own circle unable to bear the weight of their knowledge. Leaked photos, written records, evidence directly challenging the story presented to the public. Trump pounded the desk again. None of this is real. You're lying. They're all liars. You're attempting to destroy my family because you cannot beat me otherwise. His fury dominated the room, yet only fueled the moment. Viewers were not seeing a calm leader denying absurd claims. They saw a man losing control on live television. Beside him sat a woman unblinking, unshaken, voice steady. Crockett's next words came slowly, deliberately, as if each were a nail driven into the coffin of silence shielding the Trump family for years. I did not want to go here, but after tonight, after your attempts to smear me with falsehoods, I refuse to remain silent. The American people deserve to know who shapes their future, and what secrets are buried behind closed doors. The studio fell completely silent. Even Trump, for a split second, appeared stunned. His eyes darted, searching for a way to halt her. Then, almost on cue, he launched back into furious denials, voice louder than ever. But the damage was done. Crockett had opened a door that could never close. She had elevated whispers and rumors into the public sphere. And she had done it where it could not be hidden, spun, or quietly erased, live on national television. As the host attempted to regain control, as Trump shouted himself hoarse, as the audience sat stunned, one truth became clear. This was no longer a political debate. It was about power, truth, and secrets capable of shaking a family and possibly the country. With every furious denial, Donald Trump made it seem less like a baseless attack and more like Jasmine Crockett had struck the truth. The studio had never felt so tense. Cameras rolled continuously, lights burned hotter, every viewer knew they were witnessing more than another political spat. Something far deeper had been revealed. Donald Trump still raged, voice echoing across the set. He shouted about conspiracies, about people aiming to destroy him, about adversaries who would stop at nothing. His fist slammed the desk repeatedly, as if sheer force and volume could erase what had just been revealed. Yet the more he yelled, the more hollow it sounded. His fury was not silencing the moment, it was empowering it. And Jasmine Crockett remained calm, steady, almost unnervingly composed. While Trump flailed and raged, she sat with the quiet authority of someone who had already claimed victory. Every denial from Trump only strengthened her assertion. Every furious outburst sharpened the contrast between them. Finally, when the host managed to calm the storm for a brief second, Crockett spoke again, her voice low but carrying a weight no shouting could drown out. "I didn't bring this forward to smear a family," she said. "I brought it forward because when private secrets influence public power, the people deserve the truth. Too often, the lives of those in charge don't match the image they sell to the nation. In that disconnect, it matters." The host leaned forward, hanging on every word. Even the audience, silent for what seemed like minutes, appeared frozen in place. She continued, "Tonight, I revealed this here live because if I hadn't, it would be buried, hidden, locked away where no one could question it. And I believe in accountability. I believe the truth does not belong to the powerful. It belongs to the people." Her words sliced through the heavy air like a blade. And though she had not presented every piece of evidence on camera, the message was unmistakable. This was only the beginning. Trump, however, could not contain himself. His face flushed red, hands waving furiously, voice cracking with rage. "None of this is true. It's a hit job. She's lying to all of you. She should be expelled from Congress for this. She should be sued." He pounded the desk again, fury boiling over for all to witness. Yet as his denials grew louder, his composure unraveled further. What people saw was not merely anger, it was fear. Fear that the questions Crockett raised could not be brushed aside. Fear that once spoken aloud, this secret could never return to silence. The hosts, wide-eyed and shaken, attempted to move forward, but there was no moving on. The tension clung to the air. Every person in the studio understood the show had entered history. Every viewer at home realized they had witnessed something raw, unfiltered, unforgettable. Crockett concluded with a final statement. Calm but resolute. "This isn't about me. It isn't even about you, Mr. Trump. It's about truth. Because when truth is hidden, democracy itself is imperiled. I won't let that happen." And with that, the conversation ended. Trump continued shouting, still seething with fury. But Crockett's words lingered longer than his volume. The cameras captured it all, the fury, the calm, the clash of power and truth. And as the broadcast concluded, one question burned in the minds of everyone watching. If this is what Crockett was willing to reveal live on air, what else does she hold? The answer was not given that night, but the seed had been sown. The questions were alive, and no matter how loudly Trump denied, the echoes of Crockett's revelation would not fade. For the first time in years, the unshakable Donald Trump appeared genuinely shaken.